unfinished business. I really do feel like we have unfinished business. In the last video, I touched on the Storm haptic module and the Provolver as the ultimate setup. I mentioned in that video that there was an alternative, which was to run the standard stock with the Provolver, but I never bothered to go into detail for that. After that video, I actually configured that setup and had a little bit of a play with it, really enjoyed it, and thought I needed to do a second video because we might actually have the ultimate setup. So let's chuck it on the bench and let's break it down and let's have a look and see what we think. All right, we've got her on the bench. Let's break it down and let's have a look at what we're dealing with. So in the last video, we were basically running the Storm haptic module as the stock. We then also had this primary cup hard mounted with the bolt configuration that actually runs through the cup into the tube mount so that it's a permanent fixture and cannot separate. One of the problems with that though is it really makes the stock a permanent setup. Switching to your secondary or being able to throw grenades and do all that other cool stuff really becomes a bit problematic. And the main reason that you have to have it permanently bolted is otherwise this whole section here can just disconnect so easily that you'll end up losing everything and you'll have a mess on your hands. Now I touched on it but didn't really break it down in the first video about running the Provolver with the original stock. Now the benefit there is this is super light, you can keep it slung and you can operate as a primary or a secondary and it is incredible. So let's break it down and have a look. Basically we're running the standard cup and all we're doing here is running the two tube sections you can see with the original shoulder stock. You can then run your single point sling and this whole operation works beautifully. If you disconnect, that will actually hang to the side nice and easily. It won't rotate out, it'll just rotate in, it'll sit right there and then you can magnet straight onto it nice and easily. Then we've got the Provolver running in submachine gun format, plus you can disconnect your opposite hand so that you can be grabbing grenades, reloading cartridges, steadying the secondary, and this whole setup just works beautifully. So we're really dealing with three components here. Secondary onto the front, Provolver onto the stock, that's slung around your shoulder. Oh my goodness, I think we might have found the ultimate Protube setup. Now the benefit with this is you have all hands at the ready at any time. You can swap and change, your configurations are real quick and simple. You don't have this additional weight at the back. And I must confess, the haptics coming from this setup here, even mounted into the stock, is really responsive. I'm really liking this setup, to be honest, and I didn't realize how effective it was going to be until trialing it over the last couple of days. So anyway, let's get out in the field and let's try this on the range and see what we think. Okay, let's get this going. We've got everything in three parts here. We've got the stock hanging and we're ready to roll. Can be a little tricky at first to find where that magnetic point is. I find it's easier if I use my opposing hand just to align that. We'll get that one clipped in. We'll grab our weapon. We will keep her on auto and we're away. All right, switch into single. Okay, we're out. So it's really this quick. You can release weapon, disconnect that hand, grab your secondary, cup it finally with freedom, and then have a reasonable level of accuracy for shooting the targets at a reasonable range. I mean, that is moving target, got it, All right, let's see if we can get something at a distance. Oh, I got the moving target. That was chance though. Oh, look at that. Nice. Man, that is excellent. Couple more rounds out of the secondary. All right, and then as quick as that, find that magnetic cup, get it straight back on there. Switching back over to our main weapon. I think we might need to reload that. And we're back on target. I mean, you can if you want to. I'm pretty sure. Are we carrying a belt on here? Gosh, I can barely see what we're running. Let's have a look. Oh, there we go. We've got syringes, I think. We've got syringes. So grab out a syringe, res your mates. Oh, there she is. Can we grab it? Yeah. Grab your knife, do some knife action, get the knife back up there, and then straight back onto your primary again. Again, I like to use my hand just to find that magnetic cup. That's how quick we can be switching between everything. I think I dropped my pistol over there, but this is a great example. Just being able to run along, grab that weapon, grab another cartridge. Oh, cartridges everywhere. Reload, moving in. I mean, that is really, really cool stuff. Just to be able to switch between your weapons so freely really does make a huge difference. And I think we're out of rounds, but I reckon that has shown you enough to understand that this could actually be the ultimate setup when you are in the heat of battle. How good is that? Okay, well, there we have it. I think this might actually be the ultimate from Protube. It gives you the best of both worlds, flexibility so that you can operate with a primary and a stock for accuracy, but then be able to switch out, let that drop to the side, and be operating with either a submachine gun or switching to your secondary is a really, really cool thing to be able to do. Plus, you can then operate knives and grenades and all sorts of other stuff, pick up things off the ground unencumbered. And with this hanging down here, if you do crouch, you don't have that hitting into the ground either. So this is actually, in my book, the ultimate setup. It's not the ultimate in haptics. It's really good though. But when it comes to an all-round package, getting the Protube stock with the Provolver, man, it is a really, really awesome setup. I think it's the most universal that you can have so that you can operate in all those different environments with different weapon structures. It's a really good setup. And at least for me anyway, I think this is the ultimate setup.